to you again from Mombasa, Kenya, not Nairobi, where I was last week, with a quick show, not going to be a long one, about Black people's self-hatred for each other in the United States. Now, I was just discussing it with someone, and I think they were the ones who brought it up. And when they brought it up, certain things had been happening in the last few days. One of them is the fact that I was supposed to meet with a couple of brothers in Nairobi, Black American brothers who were living in Nairobi, but both of them not stood me up, but just failed to come and failed to communicate to me that they were not going to make it. So they had both told me they were going to come, and they just didn't show up, didn't call. Okay, now that could just be part of it, could be just rudeness. But, I have witnessed a lot of that over the years. The name of this show is Black People Self-Hatred is Only Fear. And let me put my camera up here. See, like this. Yeah, that way I can look at you and ding, ding, ding. It's only fear. So, yeah, this is a very big problem. And I was discussing it with a friend of mine who's a teacher here. He's Kenyan, of course. And he was saying that there is self-hatred even in Kenya. And then we went back and forth about it, because I basically wasn't seeing it. This where people were going to not like you based on the color of your skin. And he was saying that in tribal areas it's there. But this is mainly in the rural areas. In metropolitan areas or the modern urban areas, Africans get along. They don't really discuss on what tribe they are. There's no real issue of that. So, but if you go in the outlying areas, which is the majority of the country, groups tend to be with groups. And so you won't find one tribe in their homeland, somebody from another tribe comes and open up a market, they'll try to do business. They probably won't be patronized in a lot of cases. So that is why the areas are, separated based on tribe. But when you come into like Nairobi or Mombasa, in the city area, you don't have any of that. People don't care about what tribe you are. People marry. And he also reminded me that President Uhuru is a Kikuyu, and I think his son married a Luo lady. So even the government, even the well-to-do Africans who are basically in the urban areas are not looking at race or looking at tribe as some sort of a guideline. So Black hatred in the United States, my point is worse and different than the so-called self-hatred in Africa. You know what I mean? We all live in urban areas in the United States, and the self-hatred is just off the chain. I mean, the murder between blacks is just, too thick. And we need to address it. So I'm not going to take a long time today, but just to point out about the hatred. Now, I said that it's only fear. And all this is, everything can break down to fear. And we have to understand that. Let me use an example, jealousy. Like, jealousy is only selfishness. When you really think about jealousy, it's selfishness. It's that you want something for yourself without respect or concern about what how other people feel about it, or what it would do to other people. So you want somebody to be with you, but they don't want to be with you, or you see them with someone else, and then you start to feel this funny feeling, in your chest, and But you have to remember that all that is based on fear. You based it's on jealousy because you feel the fear of not being wanted. Now this could be somebody left you in a basket somewhere when you was a baby, or it's psychological. When you deal with psychology of the mind, it's weird, and you really gotta look at it and understand it. So, Amin, what do you mean by self-hatred is only fear? Uh, it's a fear. Now, we are a minority in the United States. That's a fact. And however we want to believe it, I don't really believe it as much as I used to, but whites are the majority. Definitely, when you break it down, we are the minority when it comes to money. And whites are the majority money holders. So if we are like 5 guys working for someone at some company, and our boss is white or the company is owned by whites, we start to compete with each other, and this competition to be the best of the 5 culminates from, if I'm the best, master won't beat me. If I'm the best, master won't sell me. If I'm the best, master might give me special privileges or treatment. And so we outdo our brothers in competition, because that's how he ruled over us, divide and conquer. And they feel that, and we have it. When you look at sports today, professional sports, nothing really brings out the best in competition when you got blacks competing against blacks in professional sports. I mean, you look at it today. If you take a white guy, what he gonna compete with? He gotta look at everybody as individuals. But for black guys, it's like it is just something to behold, because deep down inside, we fear we could be traded. We fear that we would be ridiculed. And what we as spectators don't realize is that when these black athletes making these millions, which is peanuts, go in social circles, they have to socialize with actually their owners, the white, club owners. And they might go to parties, and then they're gonna meet rich white people that want to be close to these black athletes. So they can get favor from that. So I'm a black athlete, football player, and I joined the team. And my first 2 games, I didn't do really well. We go to a party, and people don't know me, and like that. I start seeing them looking and talking to the top pro players. And I'm just like, second string. Then on the 4th game, I decide I want what that guy got. I want to be the privilege. And the way the coach is looking at me badly, I might be traded. So let me do extra practice. Let me go out and do whatever it takes to get, to be noticed. And so from there, they work hard, they train hard, and then they get that status, and then they want to keep that status. So they become training seriously. So people like Michael Jordan, these people, they're constant competitors. They just can't get rid of the fact that they have other brothers on other clubs talking trash to them, or talking them to the media, saying that Jordan is not that great. And I don't know if this. I got a message, but I'm using a thingy. I don't know if that's a. I don't know what message that is. I have to wait to see it. Look on my phone when it comes. So, he can even, Jordan can even wait like half a season before he get even with a guy who said something way back before. And I'm telling you that this is based on the fact that of fear. Now we all know that Jordan. I'm using him as an example. Jordan was put on second string, and a lot of times some of these great athletes today, they were like on second string, or they were overlooked for the Heisman Trophy, or they, somebody outdid them, and then they jump up. They jump up and get a whole new mission in life. And when white people start to recognize them and favor them, they don't forget like I don't need that. That's what they need. They love it. And because it comes with that favor comes more money and more prestige and more job security or position security when it comes to sports. So take a white athlete and he doesn't have that, so their competition level is not as intense as black people's because we have a rudiment fear of being rejected from the main majority, and that equates to being poor, being beaten, or overlooked or ignored, and we fight for that. So, like with dealing with gangs, a lot of the gang is in competition with other gang members. Now, I wasn't really in a serious gang, but I was in a small gang, and I was in the early days, and most of our competition was between each other. Who gonna fight, who can fight better than so and so, and I'm always looking at the two guys that are closest to me, as far as ability, and hoping I can outdo them, and then move up a notch. I wouldn't even dare touch the head of the gang because that guy is fearless. Could kill you, and so you just try to move up a little bit you can, but the competition is there. You always eye in the top seat because you get that recognition. On the job, you're on a job. You got a couple other brothers, and okay, me, I'm just good. When I was working, and I've told you this many times, I was exceptional. So when they hired me, the other two black guys, they people started to realize how little they knew when they saw me working in computers. And so this created envy and jealousy because they feared that I could take their job, or I would pass them up for promotion. So over time you could see them saying little certain things. Like they had me on when I first started my job one time, Thrifty Corporation. They had one of the black guys was going to do the evaluation of me. I was to work under him. He was supposed to be training me, but quickly he knew that he couldn't train me because I knew everything more than him. You know what I mean? So when it came time for the staff meeting where they're gonna my 6-month review period or 3-month review period, after people seen how amazing I was, everybody knew it. Everybody could see it. And so they asked Carl. Carl, what do you think of Amin's performance over the last 3 months? And what would you rate him? And out of 1 to 10. And Carl looked at everybody in the room, straight face, said about a 5. And I was shocked myself because I was getting nothing but praise for my ability because I was the most experienced computer operator they had ever seen. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that what was the case. And then the guy comes in my 3-month probation, and they ask him, "Well, what do you rate him?" And he told him a 5. It's self-hatred. You see, because he feared that maybe I would surpass him somehow in the job market. So, we had long talks after that, and he saw that I was like no real threat to him. But at the same time, he's that not talking about my abilities because he was a brother like me, and then I was sharing a lot of things to him of how but he didn't really have that kind of interest in learning computers deeply. So it's a bad situation. It became a bad situation for a short time there, and uh, it's all due to fear when you break it all the way down. When gang members fight rival gang members, their not fear of retaliation is not so much there. It is because they fear being ridiculed by their own people. So they have to show that they're brave. They have to show that they down with the colors and all that, and to their own people. Cause if they don't, they fear that they would be xed out of the game, or put in some sort of category that it'd be very difficult for them to get out of. And this is what fuels this. And all this is based from the primary level. I mean, from the basic level of fear of being beaten or injured. The brain is the protector of the body. So the brain protects the body in every way. If you go off to a cliff and try to jump off a cliff, you find it very difficult for you to jump off that damn cliff, because your brain is the protector of the body. It is always constantly taking care of you and watching over you. So by the rudiment level uh, of being fear is the root level of being of fear is fear of being beaten or injured or and get pain. So white men, of course, during slavery time used that a great deal. Even in the school systems uh, here in Kenya, they use use corporal punishment, not as much as they used to because it's now outlawed. But you still see teachers carrying sticks to kind of keep the students in line. And the students know what that stick means, because in the home, in black people's home, whether they be colonized in Kenya or whether they be in the United States, black parents use the cane or the stick to will discipline. And young boys learn very early that that stick hurts, and that stick, you don't want to get hit by that stick, so they'll jump to do anything. Now, if you can understand my point, if you like me, my mom had a belt, had not even the belt, she had the extension cord. I remember the first time she brought that extension cord out, I was like, I had done something really wrong, and she was couldn't even speak on words. She was so upset. And then all of a sudden, she just turned to the left and walked into the dining room and snatched the cord off of the lamp. And I was like, what the hell is she doing? And she tied it in two knots. So I'm looking at her like, what's this? What's she doing? Then she swapped that thing across my legs. And at first, I didn't feel it, but then I was like, the pain just kind of hit me like, whoa, mommy, no, mommy, no, mommy, no, never do it again, you see. So we as African Americans, as a minority in America, need to really kind of sit down, if you not have yourself been educated, and look back at your past and look at your baseline fears and where do they come from. When you come with jealousy, envy, or just a goddamn serious hatred for somebody, break it down and say, why am I so angry with this person? Why do I just hate this person so much? When you come into a situation where you're in a job and you see another person that has tried to get you fired or something like that, the natural tendency is to keep quiet and not talk to them and kind of watch your back. And then, rather than go to them, hey, let's have a beer together, let's sit down, let's discuss what happened at the job, what you did to me. I really want to try to understand. Can we spend like 20 minutes to talk? You see, because generally black people are good people. We're good people and honest people, generally. But this problem is that when you're in the wrong environment, the United States environment is corrupted us long centuries ago, hundreds of years ago. From slavery time, and that's passed down from generation to generation. Now, that thing of self hatred can even permeate into why we don't like Africa. Okay, so they're blacks, of course, they say, I hate Africans. What is the baseline fear of that hate? You see, the baseline fear of the hate over Africans, because most people that hate Africans have seen Africans or work around the Africans. Because you can't hate somebody you don't ever maybe been around. Now that's just ignorance. But a lot of times you have blacks who are on the job and seeing not only blacks but other immigrants, and you see the immigrants working well, and then you see the boss or the company embracing them, while you as a black man are not being so embraced. Because when they show on the news at night, whites are watching the news and they show blacks killing blacks in a certain area, they form an opinion. And they don't, they don't say on the news it was two Africans. You don't see Africans in America like shooting and killing each other. So they quickly distinguish between the two, and so do you. And therefore, you feel that they can either take over your job or, they'll be favored above you. And then comes the point where I will be beaten, I will be sold, I will be fired, I will be laid off before then. You get me? And that's unfortunate. Now that's Africans that the people and blacks in America that are saying I hate Africans. This African did me like this and like that, and they come up with these certain. Hold on. So yeah, I have to make this like short video because my wife is saying, "Come home, dinner is ready." Hello. I just want to come on and say that let me see this. Be studying this issue of black self-hatred rather than talking about it exists or it doesn't exist. It's definitely there, and we need to really take a look at it and get to the baseline fear. So those people that have a fear of coming to Africa, this is something that we have to address. Now there are some blacks that know that if they go to Africa, white people would figure it out that they went, and then they wouldn't be able to get privilege from whites. They couldn't like really hang with their white friends, and that means that you still believe that America and your white friends are going to be able to support you when the times get rough, as opposed to the Africans who you don't know them. And I'm saying that baseline fear is ridiculous. Africans support Africans, and they definitely support us as Black Americans when they see us in their country. Okay, so I submit to you that it would be a benefit of you coming to Africa, and you will find quickly that you don't need white people. You'll come quickly to see that 6% of the world population, they control only America. They don't control in Africa, as some people try to make it seem like they do. Let me see. I got a quick question here. I will disagree with topic as an ex-gang member. I'll say I had mental illness, not fear. Oh yeah, we fear that people will see us fearing. And when you're in the gang and a bunch of homeboys, you can't be there talking about I was afraid that the guy might hit me. No, you got to man up. So we used to play football in the street, and we had this thing called sideline rack up. So if you run in the street, you run towards towards the end of the street, to the curb, if you're running along the line on the side, the person can hit you with full force and knock you out of bounds. So otherwise it was touch, you tap them on the butt, then they had to be caught, But if you were running down the sideline, actually, you can rack them, you can hit them as hard as you want. And you can see in a lot of us get the ball and then run kind of go around to the side. Then we oh shit, then they run in the middle, and then we break out laughing because the guy was afraid, And then you had other brothers that would run the sideline and hit you while you coming at them. They still hitting you back, So there's different levels of how people deal with that fear. There's different ways people deal with the fear, and we have to look at that too. But I submit to you that this whole thing about moving them out in Africa is just based on fear. And then there's another fear we have about giving away, sending money. Yeah, we had that fear. And I want you guys to look at that fear today and tell me, ask yourself, is that fear, what is making me fear to support this channel? What is the fear that make me not send Amin money? Well, you fear the fact that your money will be taken and misused, or this channel is going to stop, or this is gonna have your money. You'll be laughed at later on because Amrad's going to be come out to be some sort of criminal, or he's a fugitive from justice, or they come up with all kind of things. But like I said, this channel is 11 years old, and I got a Black Man's Guide to Move into Modern Africa group on Facebook that's probably older than that. So you can go on my Facebook channel, click my photos. I don't hide any of them. You can look and see my life over the years and see, okay, is he a bad guy or is he a good guy? I submit I'm a good guy. You know what I mean? And I feel the same way I was felt to come to Africa is the same way I've been felt to do this channel and put this channel together. I started off on Dinus Amir's channel, and I became one of the top guests on the show. And I just felt like it was time for me to speak because people were in the chat line and people have emailed me and people have told me, you should talk yourself. And looking at the channel so far, people are coming to the channel and liking what they see. But at the same time, I'm a businessman, and I'm telling you that even if I feel like it, it's not good to do the channel if the channel doesn't make money. This is why YouTube has Patreon and super chats. This is what drives those channels now, because people are being paid. But we don't have super chat in Africa, so this is where we have tried several different options, and this is the one that really works for us. And I'm looking forward for you guys to send, $5 or $10 in, and give me your questions, and we discuss it. Otherwise, having a brother on the ground in Africa, you really won't get this type of information. So I'm going to cut it off there and send you another video. Like I said, we didn't get a chance to meet with those brothers in the U.S. when I was in Nairobi. Only for that, but I'm planning something special in its place next time. And until then, peace. Wait. Most ain't trying to hear you, Elder, because you're not a YouTube entertainer, but I get you. Thank you, Mizi. It's me. It's Miza. Mia. Oh, it's Mia in Swahili, and it's Ama in English. Yeah, I hear you, brother. I'm glad you understand where I'm coming from. We're getting a lot of that. People understand what I'm saying, and we're just gonna continue. You know what I mean? We're gonna try to get this thing going, and we're gonna work together, and I'm gonna try to answer all messages that come on the chat line while we're still a small channel. Okay, I'm out for real this time. Peace.